Hi, in this video we're going to take a look at two more radical equations that we're going to solve. So the first one is this, and each one introduces a small subtlety that it helps to have seen. So the square root of 6 minus x equals x. Okay, the problem begins just as we did above. And so we're going to begin by squaring both sides of the equation. So I have 6 minus x. I'm going to square the left-hand side. And I also have to square the right-hand side. When I do this, I have 6 minus x equals x squared. Well, remember this is a quadratic. And the only way we know to solve these, quadratic, that's a quadratic. It's a quadratic, so we solve by setting equation to 0 and then factoring. 0 to 0, then factor. Factoring. Okay, so it's easier to keep the x squared term positive. So I'm going to subtract. I'm going to bring down, give myself some space back. I'm going to subtract the 6 from both sides. And I'm going to add an x to both sides. So we'll go plus an x minus a 6. So when I do that, on the left-hand side I have 0. On the right-hand side I have an x squared plus an x minus 6. And we can play the game. Minus 6, 1. We're going to have answers of positive 3 minus 2. So now I have 0 equals x squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 6. Factor by grouping. X times x plus 3 minus 2 times x plus 3. We factor out our greatest common factor of x plus 3. That leaves us x minus 2. We set each of these to 0. Bring my 0 down, so I have 0 equals x plus 3, or 0 equals x minus 2. So now we subtract, to solve the first one, I'll subtract 3 from both sides. So I have negative 3 is x, or here we add 2 to both sides, and my result is 2 equals x. Now, like we said above, you always want to check your solutions. So check solutions. And let's remember, check solutions always in the original equation, in initial equation. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to just rewrite the equation so we can see it. It was 6 minus x equals x. All right, so let's try the first one. So we'll check x is negative 3. So this is going to be, let's see, square root of 6 minus a negative 3. This is going to give me the square root. A minus and a minus is positive, the square root of 9. That's going to give me a 3, but wait a minute, 3 does not equal negative 3. So this is not a solution. Okay, now let's check maybe the other one. Maybe we made a mistake. Let's see. Check x is 2. Well, I would take the square root of 6 minus a 2 equals, this is going to be the square root of 6 minus 2, that's 4, which equals 2, which equals the x. So this is a solution. So the answer is x equals 2. Okay, now we're going to try one more problem. It's going to really stretch our imaginations a bit. And there's some information in the notes that I would encourage you to review. But I'm going to explain it here on a more brief approach. But we're going to solve the problem of the square root of 2x minus 4 plus 10 equals 4. Okay, if I square both sides, I will just give you an idea. So if we square both sides, then I would have to square the square root of 2x minus 4 plus 10 squared and the right-hand side. Now, if I square this, remember, it is not 2x minus 4 plus 100. Okay, that is wrong, because what really happens is you have to square it so that it's 2x minus 4 plus 10 times square root of 2x minus 4 plus 10. And then you would have to distribute all that. So now distribute. Okay, that gets pretty difficult pretty quickly. So here's how we can make the problem simpler initially. And so let's do this. Instead, isolate the radical. Isolate the radical. So let's do that. So if I start, let's go back. Our original problem is 2x minus 4 plus 10 equals 4. So now, because we don't want to have to deal with all that FOILing or that big distribution problem, let's do this. Let's subtract 10 from the left side. So we would subtract 10 from the right side. This would give me the square root of 2x minus 4 equals minus 6. Now if we square it, watch what happens. So now I'm going to do this in red, but watch what happens if I square the left-hand side. And remember, we need to put parentheses around it if we're not sure. Square the right-hand side as well. And now, watch how clean this problem gets. The problem becomes 2x minus 4 equals 36. We add 4 to both sides. I know I'm going a little faster here, but you can always pause the video. And we've done problems like this. 2x plus 40 divide by 2x equals 20. Now let's check the problem. So check. So if I take the square root of 2 times 20 minus 4, and I'm going to add 10 to it, I should get 4. So let's see, if I do that, I get the square root of 40 minus 4 plus a 10. That's going to be the square root of 36 plus 10. This is going to be 6 plus 10 for an answer of 16, which does not equal 4. So, wait a minute. No solution? I say that with a question, but really the answer is that there isn't a solution to the problem. And sometimes this will happen. So let's take a look closely as to why. I'm going to take us back and bring one line back to the problem. And that was this line right here. Let's do this. Oops, undo that. I'm going to copy that. I want this piece here. And we want to copy. Let's bring that piece, let's put it right here. Paste. Scoot it over. Okay, now we're in business. Now let's do a couple things. First off, we don't want these reds. Okay, that was the problem where it all began. So you might say, well, why was that a problem? And the problem here is this. Whenever you take, and I'll write this, the square root of a number, or in this case of a real number, and I say that because soon we're going to break a rule, but for now, the square root of a real number, which are all the numbers that you know, decimals and fractions, positives and negatives, the square root of a real number is always positive. Oops. Oh, that's right. S, always positive. So what that means is you can never take the square root of a number and get a negative. So at this point right here, logically, the problem is unsolvable. So since, oh, that's actually, we don't even need to write anymore. We've said everything we need to say. So if you are working this and you get to this point, you can just simply write not possible. I'm going to bring this down here. So no solution. And that is some of the subtleties that you'll encounter when solving radical equations. Thanks for watching.